Good morning, everybody. Sorry. We got to love our humble keynote speaker. He's up here editing his bio so we don't have to read so much of the record. So I appreciate that very much. It's exciting. Well, it is my honor, as always, as the mayor of the city of Troy, to be here for our annual Memorial Day ceremony. Can you hear me okay in the back, Pam? Can you hear? Okay, just making sure. Sorry. As you know, I am Mayor Ethan Baker. I am here as the MC for today's event, and it is an absolute honor. Memorial Day is a federal holiday for remembering the people who died while serving our country's armed forces. I think it is fitting to acknowledge that has continued to be a couple tough years for all of us. The COVID-19 pandemic, civil unrest, and political discord has tested our resolve, but your being here today reminds us that this is America, the land of the free, and the home of the brave. We must always put the flag of our country and the welfare of our nation ahead of any discourse, and always, always remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice. At this time, please rise for the posting of the colors and remain standing for the singing of our national anthem. Please all join me in singing. At this time, I'd like to ask my three kids to come forward and help lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Go ahead. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all. Please be seated. And at this time, I'd like to ask our Troy Police Department Chaplain, Dr. Bob Cornwall, to come forward and give today's invocation.
Please join me in prayer. God of peace and justice, we gather on this Memorial Day to remember women and men who gave their lives in service to this country. May we not take for granted these lives cut short in death. Remind us that whether these deaths have affected our individual lives, there are families and friends who carry with them the reality of their deaths. And while we give thanks for their service and sacrifice, may we also remember the grief felt by those left behind. As we remember those who have lost loved ones, whether family members or friends and neighbors, may they know your compassion and healing grace. Even as we remember those who have lost loved ones, we also lift up families who have yet to find closure, as their loved ones are numbered among the missing in action. We pray they too may find comfort in your presence. And while we remember those who died, we also remember those who returned home injured and disabled, those who experienced mental distress and moral woundedness as a result of their service. We pray for their continued healing. As we come to lay wreaths in honor of those who died in service to their country, may we salute the bravery and commitment of all who have answered the call to serve country, knowing that they may not return home alive. Grant them courage in their endeavors. And those of us who gather here today represent different faiths, ideologies, and ethnicities. In an age when division and polarization are present across the land, may we join together in memory of those who serve the country to build bridges of peace, beginning with this community. And as we do so, may we be empowered to serve as exemplars of true community. And doing so, may we commit ourselves to pursuing the peace that surpasses all understanding, so that our loved ones might no longer be sent into harm's way. Amen.
Again, thank you, Bob. We can always count on you to provide the invocation at these very special events. I'd like to introduce our dignitaries with us here today. Please stand when I call your name and remain standing until everyone has been introduced. And audience, please hold your applause till the end. We've got Mayor Pro Tem Rebecca Chamberlain-Kranga, Councilmember Teresa Brooks, Councilmember Ann Erickson Galt, City Manager Mark Miller's here, City Attorney Lori Bloom, I saw somewhere hiding over there. There we go. Our Community Affairs Director Cindy Stewart, of course, and former Mayor Gene Stein is also here with us today. Always a blessing and pleasure. Let's now pause in a moment of silence in remembrance of our unaccounted for POW and MIAs. It is now my pleasure to introduce today's keynote speaker, Master Sergeant Matthew L. McCroskey. Master Sergeant McCroskey is the 191st Maintenance Squadron, First Sergeant at Selfridge Air National Guard Base, here in Michigan, of course. As the First Sergeant, he maintains discipline, standards, health, and welfare of enlisted personnel and ensures discipline in fair and equitable counsels and provides assistance as needed. He advises the commander on performance reports, awards, and promotions, and manages the recognition program. Master Sergeant McCroskey enlisted in the Air Force Reserve in December 2001 as a member of the 927th Security Forces Squadron. He transitioned to the 127th Security Forces Squadron, Michigan Air National Guard, in May 2008 after the 927th was reassigned to MacDill Air Force Base in Florida. Master Sergeant McCroskey deployed to Karshi-Khanabad Air Base in Uzbekistan in September 2002, where he served with the 416th Air Expeditionary Group in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. In April 2004, Master Sergeant McCroskey was assigned to the 379th Air Expeditionary Wing at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Master Sergeant McCroskey deployed to Kirkuk Air Base, Iraq in February 2007, where he served with the 506th Air Expeditionary Group in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. In August 2009, Master Sergeant McCroskey deployed to Souther Air Base, Baghdad, Iraq, in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom with the 447th Expeditionary Group. So without further ado, let's extend a very warm welcome to Master Sergeant Matthew L. McCroskey, today's keynote speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mayor, members of the City Council, and honored guests. Today we gather to observe and reflect upon a significant day in the United States, Memorial Day. This annual occasion holds deep meaning and serves as a solemn reminder of the sacrifices made by men and women who have laid down their lives while serving in the U.S. military. It is a day when we come together as a nation to honor, remember, and express our heartfelt gratitude to those who have paid the ultimate price for our freedom. Memorial Day is not just a day off work or a chance for a long weekend getaway. It is a day of remembrance, a day to reflect upon the tremendous cost of war and the bravery displayed by our fallen heroes. It is a time to acknowledge that the freedoms we enjoy today have been safeguarded by the selfless acts of these courageous individuals. Today is not a day to honor the 2.4 million active and reserve military members who are currently serving, nor the 16 million veterans living in the U.S. today. There is a time for that. It's not today. Don't let this uniform make you think that I'm here for kudos. My fellow service members and I wear our uniforms today, not to receive honor, but to give it, which itself is the greater honor. Today is the most solemn of our civic holidays. We don't wish each other a happy Memorial Day as we would for our other civic holidays. It's not a happy occasion, and yet it is not mournful. It's not a celebration, and yet it's not a time for grief and bereavement. In a speech he delivered a year after the Normandy invasion, General George Patton said, "It is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men lived." It is for this reason that the U.S. Code states that the flag be lowered to half-staff only until noon on Memorial Day. It is then raised to its full height. This flag code is unique to Memorial Day and holds special significance and symbolism. The flag flying at half-staff reminds us of the lives cut short, the dreams left unfulfilled, and the families forever changed by the loss of their loved ones. The sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers who made the ultimate sacrifice so that we could live in a free and prosperous nation. Then, in honor of and in humble gratitude for that freedom and prosperity which we hold so dear, the flag is then briskly raised to its full height at noon, where it flies proudly until sunset. Christ said that when a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it bears much fruit. We, ladies and gentlemen, are the beneficiaries of the fruit borne by the deaths of the heroes we remember today. Heroes who fought on distant shores, across foreign landscapes and in the skies above. Heroes who battled through the heat and jungles of Vietnam, stormed the beaches of Normandy, endured the harsh winters of Korea, who bled and died on the fields of Antietam, the hills of Gettysburg, the forests of the Ardennes, and faced trials and conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. These heroes did not fight for personal glory and gain. They fought for something much greater. They fought for the ideals of justice, liberty, and democracy. They fought to defend the values that make our nation strong and resilient. They fought to protect the very fabric of our society, ensuring that future generations could experience the blessings of freedom. On this Memorial Day, let us not forget the families left behind, the spouses, children, and parents who bear the burden of loss and carry the memories of their loved ones every day. Their pain is immeasurable, and their strength is awe-inspiring. We owe them our unwavering support and gratitude. As we reflect on the sacrifices made, let us also remember that our duty does not end with a single day of commemoration. It is our responsibility to ensure that the legacies of these fallen heroes live on, to preserve the ideals they fought for, and to strive for a world where conflicts are resolved peacefully, where the sacrifice of lives is minimized, and where freedom and justice prevail. In his greatest speech, President Lincoln expressed this sentiment beautifully and eloquently when he said that it is for us, the living, to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that from these honored dead, we take increased devotion to that cause for which they gave the last full measure of devotion. That we here highly resolve that these dead shall not have died in vain, and that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth. Thank you, and may God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Master Sergeant McCroskey. I really appreciate everything you said today, and I know the people of Troy appreciate it as well. At this time, the Troy Heritage Band will now play each military service song. I would ask that you stand when your service song is played. Army! Navy! Marine Corps! Air Force! and Coast Guard. Thank you so much, Troy Heritage Band, and thank you all for your service and for being here. It's a good day when there's somebody representing every branch, so we had it today. I appreciate that. So at this time, I'd like to call up longtime Troy resident, retired Troy Police Sergeant Mike Kerr. Mike has served as an infantry company commander in Vietnam and will now deliver a tribute to his fallen comrades. Mike, where are you? Oh, there you are. Come on up.
Good morning, and thank you all for coming. First of all, I'd like to thank the mayor, city government, and the people of City of Troy. I quit school, got drafted because figured I'd only have to do 2 years. My father, 3 uncles fought in World War II. My wife's Gay's father and brother fought in World War II. I had 3 uncles in Korea. My brother-in-law in Vietnam, and 2 cousins in the Iraqi War. So I figured it was time for me to go. So quit school, got drafted, figuring I'd only have to do 2 years. Made the 4th Armored Rifle Team, went down to San Antonio, Texas, and who could send the number 2 shooter on the 4th Armored Rifle Team to Vietnam? I called my high school sweetheart Gay and said, hey, honey, come on down to San Antonio, Texas. It's a beautiful place, and I'm not going anywhere. Well, she came down. We got married by Justice of the Peace, and about 4 months later, I got orders to go. So I went, and my son was born while I was over there. I lost 3 men on 11/11/68, lost my mentor, company commander in 7 War, 22nd, 23rd, 69. And of those peers said, Mike, you got to get out. Read the book. You got to go. I did 4 years. I came home on 1 week leave. And I wanted to be a police officer. If I couldn't save the world, I could save the city of Troy or any city. I attempted to apply for every police department in Oakland County. State Police, Oakland County Sheriff's Department, Pontiac, Sterling Heights, Warren, everywhere. Only department that would even accept my application was the City of Troy Police Department. Oh, God, I didn't dare wear a uniform. You didn't wear a uniform back then if you were in the military. They took my application, filled the application out, and the lady down at the personnel department says, is this you? I said, yes, this is me. Hold on right there. When got the personnel director, he came out and he said, aren't you wearing a uniform? I said, eh. He said, well, can you be here tomorrow? I said, sure. So I went the next day, which was Thursday, did the physical agility test, did the written test. He called me at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and he said, hey, listen, we're going to be hiring here in a couple of months. And I said, I have to go back on Saturday. I'm in the military. I'm here on a week's leave. He said, can you be here on Friday at noon? Sure can. Came in on Friday. Had Frank Gersnick was the city manager. Had the city manager, the personnel director, the city attorney, personnel director, city attorney, fire chief, police chief. I walked in, sat down, and Frank Gersnick says, where's your uniform? You have all these medals. Where's your uniform? I said, you're hiring the man, not the uniform. Good answer. He asked me a bunch of questions. I left, went back to Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, where Gay and I lived with our son and pushing troops. And about a month later, we got a letter from the City of Troy Police Department saying immediately upon your release from the military, you have a job here. I'm still here. That was 1970. I'm not leaving. And you know what? I was fortunate enough to work for a great city, been supported by a great community, and the finest police department on the planet, as you that live here well know. The mission and the men and citizens come first here. I'd like to recognize a couple of people that were in my platoon. I was a platoon leader in Vietnam, 68, 69, and of the 50,718 that were killed there, 68 and 69 were very bad years if you know your statistics. On 11/11 of 68, 3 men in my platoon were killed. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about them because it's only fitting on Memorial Day. Leslie Bratton, we called him preacher. He wanted to become an ordained minister and he carried a Bible every day. You didn't know what, when you were in the Badlands, you didn't know whether it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You only knew it was 30 days to your wife's birthday. It was 64 days to your mother's birthday. That's all you knew, but you didn't know what day it was. Every Sunday, preacher would come say, Lieutenant, even when we were out there, can I have a couple minutes for a prayer service? Absolutely, preacher. Guys would come, he'd give them a half-hour service, and off he went. He was from Monroe, Louisiana. He was killed on 11/11/68, and I won't forget him, and that's part of why we're doing this today. Gary Rust, Rusty, he had 4 brothers, 4 sisters, mom and dad. Every penny that he got paid, he sent home. And what we used to do is when you were on a fire base, for any time, guys would play poker. He loved to play poker, but wouldn't spend a penny playing poker. He'd play cigarettes. You got a 4-pack of cigarettes with your meals. You give Rusty your cigarettes, and you give him 4, and you get 12 back. He loved to play poker. The last guy I want to mention is Jim Humphrey from Shawnee Mission, Kansas. Jim was 21. He was a college student at Kansas University. Great student, even a better man. We called him Hump because he was built kind of like a linebacker. And when we got to humping for 3, 4, 5 days, he would carry the extra water. He would carry their machine gun ammo. We had to dig in at night. He would make sure everybody in his squad were dug in properly before he put his entrenching tool down. One of the squad leaders left. Roger Loeffler left. So I got with the other squad leaders, platoon sergeant, and said, who can be the squad leader to take his place? Hump. Got to be Hump. Got to be Jim Hump. I called Jim up. I said, Hump, I said, we want you to be squad leader of 4th Squad. He says, Lieutenant, I'd be glad to run the squad, but I'd really like you to give the pay and the stripes to Monroe. Monroe's got a wife and 2 kids at home. I'd rather the money go to him and the pay go to him than take it myself. So, what I did, put Monroe in for sergeant. He made sergeant. Hump ran the squad. These are the kind of people that have died for our country, and thank you very much for coming and remembering them on this day. Are there any Gold Star family members here? I know there are some Blue Star family members here for sure. And I would like to say thank you very much for your family's sacrifice and dedication to keeping our country safe and strong. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time, and hopefully I'll get invited back next year. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Mike will be doing this long after I am, I promise you. That's a given. So thank you, Mike. At this time, we'll now conduct the laying of the wreath in honor of all those who have made the ultimate sacrifice. Please rise and remain standing for the rifle salute and the playing of taps. I'd like to invite Master Sergeant McCroskey to come up and walk with the honor guard as they lay the wreath. Please be seated. I want to personally thank all of you for attending today. It's a beautiful day. You could be by the pool, you could be at a beach, you could be on your couch, but you're here, and this is a beautiful turnout and expression of love for our fallen soldiers and for all the support we have in the city of Troy for everyone who served. It's thinking about Master Sergeant McCoskery's keynote. You know, people often confuse Memorial Day and Veterans Day, and I really appreciate the words. It's very clear what Memorial Day is about and what Veterans Day is about. We thank all of our troops, everyone who served always, but today is a day, as is every day, to honor those who have fallen in service of our country. And we live in the best country on the face of the planet, and it's important that we're here to celebrate. So thank you all for coming. This time, I'd like Pastor Cornwall to come forward with our benediction.
I echo Mayor Baker's word there concerning the day. This is not Veterans Day, though we remember them as well. There is another day in which we do this, and I've been asked to do this prayer on this day for quite a number of years. And it says closing remarks there for me. And I am honored to be able to share that prayer, even though I never served in the military, and I have no one in my family or friendship circle who died in service to the country. And yet I am a beneficiary of others. And for that reason, I'm here and you are here. So hear this word of benediction. Go forth from this place with a spirit of hope. May the lives we remember today inspire us to pursue peace in our time. Let us not take for granted our freedoms or the values of our democracy. May we instead honor the contributions of all who dwell within the borders of this nation, no matter their ethnicity, religion, or gender. Having remembered those who died in service to this country, may we honor their memory by committing ourselves to acts of service to others, to the cause of peace, and to loving our neighbors as we love ourselves. Amen.
At this time, the Troy Heritage Band will accompany me and all of us as we sing God Bless America as our departing song. Please rise and face the flag, and please join in singing. bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you, Troy Heritage Band. Thank you, Troy Police Honor Guard, Dr. Cornwall, Master Sergeant McCoskey, all members of the City Council, City Administration, and all of you for attendance, for coming today. It really means the world to have such a full house. It means a lot about how you feel about our country and those who have served and fallen on our behalf. God bless you all. Have a great day.